Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, we'll do some more August energy readings here. I just did August energy readings for the United States as a whole, and then for the Trump administration. I want to do an August energy reading on the Epstein case. This has just been amazing that it has stayed in the news for multiple cycles, and part of that is it's selling advertising spaces. It appeals to both MAGA and non-MAGA people, and I really do think that Donald Trump is on his way out the door. His health is not good, neither mental, emotional, or physical health. All three are poor for him. And he's declaring war with Rupert Murdoch, who has had his opening salvos on the Wall Street Journal. Now, Fox News hasn't turned on Trump yet. I expect that will happen. And again, you have to slowly inoculate the MAGA base, because they've drunk deep from the propaganda Kool-Aid, and you need to wean them off of it. So you start with the Wall Street Journal and releasing stuff out there. Trump's doing himself no favors by saying he's not going to release the Epstein tapes, and Epstein client list, and that got his base all riled up. And now you can start dripping stuff on Fox News. And, just start... I wouldn't even say it's poisoning them, because they've been poisoned. It's like adding heroin to their daily news feed. And now you're going to start putting in the Narcan instead of heroin in there. And now you give them a lot of heroin, but then you hit them with a little bit of Narcan so that the dose is less and less and less. And then you start purifying them out of it. Okay, but let's take a look at this Epstein case as it unrolls for Trump over the course of August. We'll start with Monday, August 4th, and then we'll do the 11th, the 18th, and 25th. And I think this time I'm going to do my X marks the spot reading on this one. More cards, more complication, longer reading, but it's... I think it's interesting. So let's, without further ado, and for entertainment purposes only, again, I'm just a Marxist reading tarot cards on the internet. Glad you could join me. I record this Sunday at 11:45 a.m. You will be watching this most likely Monday morning. It would go up at midnight. I schedule it to go up at midnight, and we do that on this channel as well as on the twin channel with my brother, just so that there's content coming out, and it comes out on the same time every day. I try to put out at least one video a day. For the first year and a half I did this channel where I got monetized, I was putting out 2 videos a day every day, up until about the election. And that post-election kind of knocked me off my horse. I'm going to start working my way back up to doing 2 videos a day if I've got the energy to do it. And I'll put one up at midnight, and I'll probably put the second one up around noonish. Sometimes I record it on my lunch break, so then it goes up at 1 or 1:30 or something along those lines. But if I do it the day before, I'll put one up at midnight, one up at noon. And then, every 12 hours you can hear something. But always count on a video from this channel or the Twin Tarot channel with Gary and David at midnight Pacific time. Okay, come on down. Trump's August with regards to the Epstein case. Okay, so what do we have as foundation of the reading here? In the week of August 4th, we are going to have more evidence coming out, more messaging about evidence with regards to the sex trafficking. There's going to be a big push. It's going to be a new revelation about theft. This almost makes you wonder if we start hearing more about the votes. This actually looks more like the votes, like the court case involving the stealing of the votes. There's planning going ahead here. You go from the Ace of Wands coming up with the idea to the how do we implement this. And underneath this part is temperance. This is the drip, drip, drip. Okay, so if I'm reading this not as voter tampering, I will not be surprised if we find out some voter tampering information about the stolen election, the plot that happened, and how they started implementing it, and it's being revealed. And it's going to come slowly over time. I almost want to go that way with this one. The Epstein, that first week with the Epstein, if this was Epstein, more evidence is coming out about actions, the big stick or the little mushroom, the misshapen mushroom in the guy's hand, and the things he did. We talk about stealing this girl from, Epstein stole this girl from him, and that truth got revealed. That already happened. But if there's election stuff, that's also going to happen this upcoming week. And again, temperance. It's a slow release of information. A slow release of information that's coming out. More stuff is going to be coming out about this. So, X marks the spot reading. We keep the 2 end cards because this is the top part of the X. And I'm going to take these other cards and put them back. Cut the deck so that the temperance card is no longer on the bottom. Do some shuffles to blend the cards up a little bit. Now, 3 shuffles is not really enough to blend them up, except for the fact that I put them in different parts of the deck, and they should not be next to each other. Now, what's going to happen in week 2? It looks like we're going to get some more information, some more truth has been revealed, and with the Ace of Wands and 2 of Wands, there's going to be more action taken. This could be more calls from Congress. Oh, dear God, we got cards flying out here. 5 of Wands was one of them. More calls from Congress, probably on this. Look, investigations, wanting more information, that sort of thing. Okay, week 2. There's a celebration. Oh, okay. I keep getting this card with Ms. Maxwell getting her relief from Donald Trump. Like when she got moved to out of Florida to Texas, this is the card I was getting for that. So we might be hearing more about Ms. Maxwell cutting a deal with the Department of Justice. We'll see where this goes. We have the King of Pentacles, so money, wealth, oligarchs. The 2 of Coins, the decrease in value, the decrease in interest, the decrease in health. That could be interesting. This could be Trump's health in week 2. God, this is a better reading than the Trump general reading. Page of Swords and the Burden. And the High Priestess. Okay, I think here's what we got going on. I think the week of August 11th, I believe Ms. Maxwell cuts her deal with... I would love to say this is the victims celebrating the downfall of Trump, whistleblowers coming out, and the hard truths coming out as the secrets come out. I'd love to say that. I think that's not the case. I think what we're going to see here, though, is Ms. Maxwell is going to be celebrating. I think Trump, in a form of damage control, is going to set her free to unleash this burden that he's carrying, because she's going to spill secrets, and he's got convinced that, he's convinced that she's going to tell secrets that's going to help lighten his burden. What's interesting, and now Page of Swords is about girls. Page of Swords is a female fighter. So I think this is about the girls that were involved in here. He may not have all the guarantees, but I think he's going to take the chance on this one. Now, that being said, on an uplifting one, it could be there's a celebration because some of the girls are coming out and speaking out publicly about the trafficking that was going on overseas too, and how difficult their lives have been holding on to these secrets. So likely what this is Maxwell getting released. It would not surprise me, though, if some news agencies are out there starting to do stories about some of his victims and putting some of his victim stories out there. Special interest type pieces here. So, in an X marks the spot reading, And, you know, again, the divine feminine underneath. X marks the spot. This is the second part of the X. So let's go ahead and we're going to bury this card again. We're going to bury this card. And we're going to bury this card. Yeah. The cats are playing in the hallway. Something went flying down the hallway. Oh, it was the kitten. Chasing the black cat, I think. Now, we refer to Elle as the kitten in this household. She is a fully grown cat now. She is no longer a kitten. Let me take a quick break here. I did start my Facebook page again, Tarot by the Bay. I originally took it down because I didn't like what Zuckerberg was doing with Facebook, selling information, and I didn't want to support him. Unfortunately, nature abhors a vacuum, and what ended up happening was a scammer used the lighthouse as the blue background, opened up a Facebook page with that icon, Tarot by the Bay, put a beautiful spread of tarot cards as a background picture, and then put a WhatsApp number so you could call for private readings. I don't do private readings. I got a day job. I don't have time to do private readings. And I really don't want that responsibility at this point. But, you know, they're out there. So thank you for everyone who mass reported them. That page looks like it was taken down. There's still a Facebook group that you can join that has the icon. That's not me. I did reopen the Facebook page. It's got the lighthouse with the blue background icon, and then I put a picture up of Elle and Nico, the cats. You've certainly seen Nico on many of my videos where he plops down on the reading table. So there is a Tarot by the Bay Facebook page, and that's only so I can stake that spot, so that that scammer, whoever he is or she is, I'm assuming it's a he, doesn't try and rip you guys off. I will never, ever ask you for money. I do not want your money. I don't need your money. I'm well off. No, you just watching the ads, just the advertising revenue that we get from this channel is plenty. I do appreciate anytime you do send a super thanks or a super sticker or anything along those lines. I really do appreciate that, and I try to acknowledge every one of those when they come in. But yeah, I won't ask you for money because I don't want to scam anybody. That is not what this is about. This is about reading on current political events, trying to provide some insight as to what's going on behind the scenes, and hopefully calm things down a little bit. That being said, these are tumultuous times. Come on down. Okay, so we've got the 4th and the 11th. Now let's go to the 18th. I think at this point we're going to have to do a mystery card here. I'm dropping the foundational card. Maybe this should be the mystery card. Okay, that's going to be the mystery card. I was going to do it in the middle, but it landed face down, so I don't know what that is. The week of the 18th, Page of Cups. Looks like we're going to get some MAGA news. Something's going to happen with MAGA. The Happy Family, or the lies about the Republicans and the Happy Family. I think MAGA is going through... Oh, well, yeah, if Trump has given Maxwell a pardon on the week of the 11th, now MAGA's got to really restart rethinking their lives here. Oh, my God, look at that. If Trump does pardon Ms. Maxwell the week of the 11th, like I was suggesting might happen, the repercussions in MAGA world are going to be massive and severe. Don't get too upset that Ms. Maxwell gets her sentence commuted, she's pardoned, gets some preferential treatment or something along those lines. Or even, she was supposed to testify that week of the 11th, but they postponed that. Okay? So that could also be a thing that maybe they put it back on there and she testifies. But there are some massive Massive. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. 4 major arcana and a 10. The only thing missing are aces. Massive changes to MAGA in this camp. You know, the happy family, they've made their identity MAGA. It's a cult. They've made their identity cult. And the identity that the cult had was that they were going to stop child sex trafficking. That's what they were doing. That was their mission. And Trump has basically told them, you know, you don't need to worry about that anymore. What are we still talking about? Epstein. Don't look over here. Look over there. You know, their whole livelihood has been set up worshiping Donald Trump. And now there's real concern about the secrets that are being hidden. And this is causing sudden changes and downfall here. And it's ongoing. This is going to keep going. It could be that the chariot's wild and out of control. If Ms. Maxwell were to testify in 11 and say it was all Democrats and no Republicans, well, they would be happy, feel justified that the mystery has been resolved. They want to take down the Democrats. But that's not. I just don't think that's what's going to happen. If their mission would continue, I do think that they feel like they've made their whole mission something that Trump has told them, and that it's like as the truth is not revealed, they're starting to go crazy. They want to tear the whole thing down. Wow. This is going to be a big, big month or week on the week of the 18th. That's going to be my central card. God, I would have loved to have kept that. Well, it wouldn't have been the double card that would have stayed in the middle. But man, having that double card in the middle would be amazing. I'll keep the double card in mind. Okay, so that's the 18th. Now the week of the 25th. Oh no! I didn't put the cards out. Hold on, let me recreate this. Okay, this is as I recall. So we have to keep this card and this card. And bury these two. The double card was in the center. Okay. So these are the third parts of the X. Move these up. Get some shuffling in there. Just in case you think he stacked the deck. Didn't stack the deck. Okay. I'm interested. Wow, that week of the 18th. Now we'll go to the week of the 25th. And we keep the outer two cards on the week of the 25th. Elle came back in the room, was rubbing up against me. Because she loves me so much. But she's hungry. Oh, she's hungry and she's eating kibble. So it's like, I know she's got kibble. Why is she rubbing? Because she wants me to move the bowl onto a bed. Why would you eat off the floor when you can eat off a bed, right? So pedestrian. So commonplace. Is that what you wanted? You wanted your food on a bed, huh? She didn't get it. She was hungry enough that she'll eat it off the floor. Her bowl's on the floor. The food's not on the floor. Okay, August 25th. King of Cups. I think Trump's going to have a meltdown here. Because MAGA is now in full rebellion. I think Trump's going to have a meltdown here. He's trying to figure out a way to get their support back. And about Epstein. There's problems with Epstein. Secrets being left out. Maybe more evidence is coming out about this. About the women who were assaulted. Okay. And underneath is a page of wands. All right. Trump is having a meltdown, and he's screaming on social media about it. He's gonna be melting down on social media, and now he's gonna look to his allies in the Justice Department. He's gonna want Pam Bondi to start doing something. You know, do your job, and to him, her job is for her to protect him. But the secrets about the sex trafficking are getting out. And justice is being served. What he wants is the Justice Department to shut this whole thing down. That's what's going to happen that third week, near as I can tell. Okay, let's get these cards in here. right, let's get these things shuffled. Sorry, I'm making a mess here. And all we're going to throw here is a cross card and a card underneath. So, for the X marks the spot, this is going to be the theme in August for the Epstein week by week. Kind of what's the underlying theme that's been going on this whole time. All right, so we have this. Get the cards facing the right way. All right, so in August, Trump is looking over his shoulder the whole time. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what's coming next. He's lost control of the narrative. What's the challenge? The emperor. He's lost control of the narrative. And this is literally is Frankenstein's monster rampaging across the countryside. He can't, before where he was the tyrant's now showing he has no clothes. He's got no way to control the narrative anymore. This narrative is going wild, and underneath it all is the Ace of Swords, the sword of truth and justice. Truth and justice is getting out there. This is also kind of a sword of crusades, which is getting back to MAGA. So what are we finding here? We're getting new messages about the... and I'm wondering if we're going to see election interference here too. I'll read this election interference also to show you how well they line up. More messaging about the assaults on girls with the Epstein list. I think oligarchs are upset with Trump and they want to do something about it. Trump, it's why? Because who's going to be on the Epstein list but oligarchs? It's going to be wealthy, politically connected, powerful men, mostly white. And they're all looking over their shoulder too. They want to keep their mystery and they don't want to face the justice of this. But the justice card is underneath it all. There's going to be a lot of pressure on Trump to protect their identities. And Trump has lost the power to do that. Trump's going to melt down. MAGA is not happy. They've been lied to. Trump's losing. We've had the support of MAGA at this point, but the truth's coming out about what's happened with these girls. He doesn't have the ability to fight that narrative. And maybe there's more whistleblowers, more information coming out. The other part I wanted to bring up was election interference. I think there's more information about the vote and the changes to the vote. The court case in Rockland County is going to meet up, and I think a lot of the mystery about this is going to clear up, and now we have to look at other states that voted, allegedly voted for Trump, because underneath it is justice. Why? Because I think people, instead of, it's like we're getting whistleblowers and the truth being shown. How I'm not saying now Biden, but you call it Biden-Harris. People they liked Harris's message. And they could not understand how their votes weren't enough to get her over the top. How did Trump win the popular vote? How did Trump sweep all the swing states? None of it made sense. And there's like a Substack of a whistleblower report purportedly done by the NSA that uncovered a systematic non-counting of votes, which in the Rockland County would fit into the data where people who voted blue down the ticket didn't vote for Kamala Harris at the top of the ticket. So if like a million people voted, only 900,000 voted when it came to checking a box for Kamala for president, and a million people voted for the blue governor or the blue senator. But like 100,000 votes were lost for the president. And Trump would have won that that state by 20,000 votes or 30,000 votes. So if you didn't count 100,000 votes that were done for Kamala, they were just like, you took your eraser and erased. Look, there's no check mark on that box. Nothing to count here. She would have won the state by 70,000 votes. That type of thing. And then all of a sudden, Trump doesn't win all the swing states. He loses all the swing states. He doesn't win the popular vote. He loses the popular vote. I believe that's coming. We're going to find more about that with Rockland. But that'll be a different reading. But I think Trump's got two... It looks like he's got two things going on. August is going to be a difficult month for him when it comes to the Epstein cases. I do believe in mid-August, happy birthday to me and Gary, he's going to be probably doing something to show some clemency to Ms. Maxwell in order to get her testimony to exonerate him. Now, we could be upset by that, and we probably will be upset by that, and we should be upset by that. And likely, her testimony will be such that a lot of Democrats will be, that were complicit in this, are outed. But remember, as long as there's corroborating data, whether they're Democrats or not, they're rapists. They're child rapists, and they should be held accountable for it. I suspect that some Republicans will be on that list, but they will be ones that won't be consequential currently in the government, so that the Republicans can maintain power and control. But some will be out there. You have to balance it out. It can't all be Democrats, right? It won't be satisfying, but at the same time, it really looks like the folks in MAGA that were on board with this part of the cult, they are fracturing. They are going to suffer big time, because if he pardons her, oh my God, they're going to be livid. You've pardoned the one person who was guilty of this, and the Department of Justice said they're not going after the Johns. So the one person who can be held accountable is going to be released. They're going to be pissed. I realize it doesn't make any sense to us. They should be pissed for all the girls who were victims, and they don't appear to be. They should be pissed that it's obvious that Donald Trump is on this list, and they don't appear to be. They're pissed because he doesn't want to release this list, or he pardons the one person who was on the list who was convicted. It doesn't make sense to us. Just like it makes no sense for this cat to jump up on my reading table because he just wants attention. But he does these things because he's a cat and he can. Don't show people your bauble. Come here. So I'll hold you here, and you can look at the people. Say hello. I want down. Okay, you can go down. It's all I can say. It's playing out the way it's playing out. Just roll with it and accept it. If anything, this is causing an unraveling of MAGA. And we really need that cult fractured, disillusioned, and starting to be dismantled so that we can repair the damage that's been done or put in new systems in place that are much better than what we had before. Okay? We'll go with it from there. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only, but I hope you found it insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.